As the Chief of Safety, I oversee the safety of fire members, EMS members, and the civilians who work for the department. Ours is a very dangerous job. We can't reduce all risk, but the focus of the Safety Command is to reduce the risk to our members to the greatest degree possible. My team consists of the Research and Development Unit, which works with members and outside vendors to ensure that our tools and equipment are top of the line and are suitable to meet the needs of the department, and also to make sure that we keep our citizens safe. My unit also includes the Fire Injury and Death Investigation Unit, which undertakes an extensive review and investigates all operations that result in a serious injury or death of a firefighter. As we often say, no member of the department dies in vain. We know the best way to honor a member who dies or suffers a serious injury is to learn from the incident and make any changes necessary to make the operation safer to our members. Another unit within safety is the handy-talkie recording unit. We record all communications amongst our members, so we routinely review these communications from operations to understand what went right, what went wrong, and where we can make improvements. It's also an invaluable training component to our field units to listen to themselves on the fire ground as they go out and speak and communicate with each other, and they'll know what the right things to say on the fire ground and the necessary things to say are. Safety Command also includes 3 battalion chiefs and 2 captains who respond to third alarm fires and higher to assist at the scene of complex incidents. We work with the Bureau of Health Services, the FDNY Bureau of Health Services, to understand injury trends so we can assess whether any equipment or tools used in the field are malfunctioning or are not working properly for our needs, so we can make adjustments. We also work with the Bureau of Training to make sure that we use what we learn from accident investigations to help improve member training and reduce the number of injuries that are suffered in the field. We work with the fire and EMS operations to address methods and procedures in the field that might lead to unsafe conditions. We also consider it part of our mission to educate our members about safety issues and help them understand on an individual basis how they can help themselves and help the department stay safe. We do this through producing literature, webcasts, and many other educational materials that we distribute to the field on a daily basis. As an example, we have created materials to help members learn about their gear and personal protective equipment so that they have an understanding of how their equipment works and how to make sure that they are using it properly so they can be the safest possible. Historically, the fire department has moved forward in leaps and bounds in terms of the safety level of the gear that our members wear and use when they operate at fires and emergencies. When I first joined the fire department 33 years ago, the gear was not what we had today. We got bunker gear. When I first came on, we had rubber boots, a helmet, and a fire coat. Our time as a direct result of the attention that the department has given to the safety of our equipment, our gear, has evolved into a protective bunker gear ensemble. We have a high bar for equipment to be used by the FDNY firefighters. It has to be maneuverable, it has to be durable, and has to provide the fire protection necessary to avoid burns and injuries. Considering the number of burns and injuries that we have regularly sustained using the equipment of my youth versus what our members operate in today, there simply is no comparison. Our members now have a significantly greater chance of ending their shift safely than at any time in the history of the FDNY. It's the metric that we use to measure our success. We want everybody to go home at the end of the day in the same condition that they arrived when they came in. And we will never stop trying to improve our methods and our equipment to make sure our members have the best possible chance of being safe. My colleagues who are here with me today all have that same mission, and their units contribute to that goal of safety in different ways. Chief Murray and his team at Hazmat are experts in understanding how to safely deal with hazardous materials. They receive specialized training to identify and isolate hazards, protect first responders, and rescue and decontaminate potential victims. Hazmat is trained to perform at a wide range of incidents, from minor spills or chemical releases to full-scale terrorism involving chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and explosive threats. In recent years, they have developed and executed procedures for handling incidents involving lithium-ion batteries and micro-mobility devices. As this committee knows, lithium-ion batteries may present enormous challenges to firefighters, whether they are at the source of the fire or they become involved in a fire that originated from a separate cause. Even after a fire is extinguished, these batteries have shown a propensity for reignition and explosion. The department has implemented a variety of procedures to respond effectively and as safely as possible. This includes responding companies submerging batteries and hazardous materials units taking possession, overpacking these batteries and materials, maintaining backup hose lines, and ensuring that these products which emit dangerous toxins when compromised are properly packed and transported after a fire incident. Chief Shisekki oversees FDNY's fleet services. His team keeps department apparatus in good repair and available for frontline first responders. The department has roughly 2,500 vehicles in all, including many specialized fire engines and EMS ambulances. Vehicles come in and out of FDNY repair shops for a variety of reasons, including preventative maintenance, accidents, replacing parts and equipment, and upgrades. Fire department apparatus receive a lot of wear and tear on the city streets, and ambulances, in particular, operate on a near constant basis 24 hours a day, so they receive oil changes, brake checks, tire inspections, and other preventative measures more frequently than the average consumer vehicle. Lastly, Captain Leo's Robotics unit plays a vital role in innovation and enhancing fire department operations through cutting-edge technology. The fire department was the first city agency to operate a drone in the field. We've come a long way since the original models, which were tethered and limited in their maneuverability. Captain Leo's team monitors and reviews evolving drone technology on an ongoing basis, assessing new features and advances in design and upgrading the fire department's fleet so that we're using the best equipment to assist our members at incidents. Drone pilots receive extensive training that focuses on safely flying their aircraft, providing useful information, and in doing so in a manner that preserves the privacy of individuals. Drones have become a tremendously valuable component of an emergency response. The information they provide to incident commanders cannot be duplicated from the ground or through radio transmissions. We brought a video today that we think will give a clear idea of their utility. The team has recently expanded to include robotics, including a dog, that we will show you a demonstration on today, and then gladly take your questions afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you. Before we see your presentation, I'd just like to note that Councilmember Susan Zhuang has joined us. We're just fixing a technical difficulty. It'll be just a moment.
Okay, right here, I'm just going to give a little commentary on this. Is a third alarm. This is a recent fire in the Bronx on April 5th. You can see how advantageous it is to have an aerial image. It adds so much safety and efficiency to our operations and lets the incident commanders make real-time decisions of where the fire is, how we're progressing, and the overall operation. We can go to the next slide. These are very short clips, but it'll show you. The next slide is our thermal imaging sensor. It's the exact same, it's being recorded at the same time as the other image. But here, now we can see a lot of the hot spots, the red spots, where heat is being emitted from. And then we can slide. These are very short clips. We can go to the next one. The next one is from, we'll see, we'll advance it. This is from Easter in Brooklyn, and this is a side-by-side comparison of the two sensors. And they both have great worth. You can see that the roof has collapsed into the building. We can see the hot spots again. One of the things we're able to do is give the tower ladders who are applying the water a view of what they're hitting, because sometimes they can't see with the amount of smoke. And you can see from the left image how much clearly we can see with the thermal image. Can advance. This is the crane collapse on 10th Avenue, and you know, this was an event that I don't think we've ever really seen or had to deal with ever before. It did damage to the building across the street and then fell to the ground. We can advance to the next one. Can we go back to the, yeah, that should be a video. All right, well, if it isn't playing, so we had a great view of this crane from the drone, so much so we can see under it, around it, over it, very close up. We were able to share the video feed with the members operating the hose line, and as they were operating, they were kind of far off, and it was very difficult for them to gauge. But as we shared that feed, they were able to boost the pressure and get the water to where it needed to be to extinguish this fire. We can advance, yep. So this is the Ann Street collapse. We could play the video. You could see Berg, which we have here today, enter the building. That was a decision made by the incident commander. We had a secondary collapse, a small one, but we didn't want to send members in. And at the time, that was the best, that was almost the last resort where we had the robot go in to identify a patient, as well as look at the structural stability of the building. Can advance, yep. So this is a video now of the drones operating at that event. This was one of the first events that we had multiple robotic equipment operated at the same time, including other agencies, as New York City Emergency Management as well as NYPD were there. And having this overhead imagery was, again, very advantageous for the incident commander to see what was going on with the building and where members were, and very good for safety. We can advance. I think that it's playing. This is life safety overwatch that we do at Rockaway Beach now, otherwise maybe known as Shark Watch. We started Shark Watch last summer. It went quickly in the beginning because we were asked to do it in the mid-season, and we learned a lot over the half of the year. We can advance one to the next video. Hopefully this plays. Okay, so you can see here what we can see from the sky. We can see rip currents, and we can see a person struggling. So it was great that we could see swimmers in distress. So although we're looking for sharks, the risk assessment shows that you know, swimmers in distress happen much more often. So we deal with the lifeguards and basically communicate with them of where somebody might be. They did a phenomenal job on this particular day. We watched the lifeguards do 15 rescues just like this one, just in that one area. So the lifeguards just do an incredible job. But we're able to kind of identify those rip currents at the beach and tell the lifeguards, hey, maybe we should keep people out of the water to prevent that from happening in the first place. At the end of the season, we were, so we work outside of the lifeguard hours, just by an hour on each end. At the end of the season, while we were wrapping up, we found a woman who was struggling outside, and now there's no lifeguards on duty. So the drone actually found the woman, and basically the drone, this would be one of the first times that I'd say, you know, with certainty that the drone saved that woman's life. We were about to go in the water ourselves, but we found some lifeguards who were off duty, walking away, and they went in the water without their safety equipment and rescued her. And You know, that was a telltale sign that these drones are very important for water rescues as well. And we could stop the video. That's the end.
As a council member that represents the Rockaways, that is such an important feature for us, because we have so many drownings on the Rockaway Peninsula over every summer, and you're right, it's always on off hours for the lifeguards, and that is a welcome component, so thank you for that. So, what is the current protocol for equipment exposure, particularly bunker gear to lithium-ion batteries? This is something that's new. I know, we're really like, it's kind of evolving, so I would love to hear what's happening.
So we've had lithium-ion batteries, right? They didn't just come into existence, they're just more prevalent in society now today. So we have had fires in the past where we had exposure to them. It's only now that they're becoming, as we go more green, that they're becoming greater and greater in society. So right now, actually, we're participating in a study with Arizona State University, where we're actually taking gear and also our members, blood from our members when they are exposed to these fires, some of our special operations folks, and we're sending the blood out to Arizona State and the gear out there as well to help as cutting edge to try to see what people are exposed to with this. In New York City, we're getting more of these type of fires and raising the awareness around the country as well to other departments. So we're at the tip of the spear as far as right now trying to figure out exactly how it affects our members, and also cleaning up that gear and how it affects the gear as well. So after a lithium-ion battery fire, Safety Command would send out an email to our units who operated there to have their gear sent to our decon support unit in order to get it clean, which is over in Corona.
I just would like to note that we've been joined by Councilmember Carmen De La Rosa. So you take the bunker gear and then you send it out for sanitizing. And is it the same type of sanitizing that's done on a regular bunker gear from a regular fire when the firefighters send their bunker gear out?
Sure. Our NFPA standards, National Fire Protection Association standards, have us send gear out. Each set of gear has to be cleaned twice a year. So we send that out to an independent service provider to go out and get cleaned. Right now, we're using Gear Wash, which is in the Bronx. That contract is up and expiring. So I'm not sure what fiscal is going to do with it yet. Could be Gear Wash or Lion Care, which is someone else who will be operating within the city. They set up a facility. But what we do is we send that there. They inspect the gear, clean the gear, and repair any gear as necessary. We also we're lucky enough on the FDNY, through the help of the City Council in the past, to have a decon support unit that operates out of Corona that's able to clean up to 100 sets of bunker gear a day. So anytime we have anything exposed to a bloodborne pathogen, hazmat, or if our members feel like their gear needs to be cleaned, we can clean it even more so than what the national standard is by sending it to them and having it back within 24 to 48 hours.
That's great, and we are, as a body, working on pulling more money together so that we can get more laundry sites for the FDNY to have their bunker gear clean, because that's very, very important, especially their hoods, as you know, because of the uptick in thyroid cancer. So I'm going to switch gears a little. During fiscal year 2021, there were 516 ambulances in service per day when compared to 466 this fiscal year. What do we attribute that decrease to?
So as far as the actual ambulances in service, when we hit a high, it's taken into consideration that about 15% of that number is our voluntary out of service that we're taking out of service to do our preventative maintenance cycle. We take those out of service, about 12 of them a day, to prevent further out of service time and mechanical issues. And what we do is we bring every ambulance in. We do a full 70-point inspection, which takes up to several days sometimes to ensure that the vehicle is safe and road ready. So now that COVID set us back when we were experiencing shortages with chassis and chip manufacturing, we could kind of have a slightly older fleet than we did at that time. So right now, where we have 61% of our vehicles under warranty, at that point, it was a higher number, which attributed to a lower out of service.
So I know there have been a number of